I can say that I was in a happy place until BBC came into the picture, because for the past 2 weeks I've been in hiding. Huwezi sema tuko place flani, you did a good thing, but you have to be in hiding for you do, and you're wondering why. I just narrated a story, and the pressure is coming from the public that you have to be in a safer place. Kenya is telling you, okay, you are our hero. I'm their hero, but mimi si hero wangu mimi because I feel that naenda kukufa. You feel like somebody might be coming for you. Anaenda pala nasema, I'm a photojournalist, and these pictures were edited. These pictures are not from Kenya. Me, I was in the front line. I want him to explain to me how those videos that hata mimi mwenyewe sikuwa nimeona were edited for me to be in the videos. And if the pictures were edited, then why is Rex Masai dead? Why is Chege dead? Why is Eric Sheni dead? I never did it for the cameras. I never knew I was recorded. If we can create change, then there's no need for fear. If you know that this is what you wanted to do, then the fear is gone. I'm doing this thing for the better future. And if I die in the line of duty, that's okay, because I achieved what I wanted.
Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode of LNS. My name is Lynn Ngugi and I'm happy we get to meet for another thought-provoking conversation where we get to do the three things we are doing this season. We are learning, unlearning and relearning. If I was to ask you what's your definition of a hero, how would that look like? My guest today, honestly, when I first watched him on that BBC documentary, just like majority of you, I don't know, something happened inside me. But I was so happy that he is part of this movement. And he reminded us that, you know what, Lynn, sometimes it gets tough. Sometimes we don't want to talk about it. Sometimes we are scared, but we must continue using our voice no matter what. Because as we always say on this show, when we lose our fear, they lose their power. Majority of you have seen him on that BBC documentary. You've interacted with him on his X account. And when I saw his message and he was like, hey Lynn, you know what? I want to pop up for the show. I was so excited because it's an honor to get to have him as part of today's conversation. And I hope it encourages you to keep talking. I know there are so many risks that are involved, but I want to remind you, no one is coming to save us. We have to be the ones saving ourselves, and we have to be the ones using our voice no matter how hard it gets. I don't want to say much, so without further ado, please allow me to let him introduce himself as we get on our conversation of today. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Allans.
I'm fine. How are you?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
So, hello everyone. My name is Ademba Allans, a student journalist, but I like to call myself a journalist by profession. And most of you have interacted with me mostly because of the recent documentary, that is Blood Parliament.
Yes.
By BBC, which I was part of the talking heads in the video. But I'm also great to be one of the voices that is championing for change, especially in the revolution that is going to change Kenya for the better. Especially in the current moment that we have a lot of things going on. We had Gen Z protesters here that led to 60 of us being killed for no reason. And me being in the front line, I did what I could do. And I'm just happy that I was among the voices that help the world know what happened in Kenya.
Yes. I want to say what I even said on X when we all watched you again on that documentary. Thank you so much. It takes, and this is something I know millions of people in Kenya would love to tell you face to face. Thank you so much for your voice. Thank you so much for making it count. Thank you so much for actively participating. Even without knowing you would have been featured on this documentary. You did your part, you participated, you showed up every single day. So I really want to start this conversation by saying how grateful I am that we have people like you existing in our country. So take your flowers, like virtual flowers, take them. But I want to get into the conversation of today. Why do you want us to have this show today?
I want us to have this show. Okay, first of all, we had a documentary that make people to relive what happened last year. And people reliving this moment means that it was a conversation that was needed, but people were already forgetting it.
Yes.
Now that the documentary came out and everyone was like, so we had this thing and we were almost forgetting about it, and the politicians were doing everything to make sure that this conversation, we don't have it again. So me doing that documentary and me being part of it and me being on this show is just one way to tell people that I want people to continue fighting for change, fighting for better, making sure that what happened in last year doesn't happen again, and that justice is served, and maybe Kenyans get closure.
Yeah.
And for the better future, we have a revolution that is going to change Kenya for the better, especially in the political landscape and any other landscape that exists when it comes to Kenya, because Kenya, all landscapes have a problem. And now that we, the young people, are in the, let me say, in the picture, because we make 75% of the Kenyan population. That is maybe, if I'm not wrong, but maybe over 3 million. That means that we can make a big change when it comes to election, when it comes to us being elected as leaders, when it comes to us taking active political roles, or maybe just taking part as voters, maybe taking part by making sure that our leaders are held accountable to what they did or what they should be doing, to making sure that all our public sectors or anything that happens in the Kenyan government is transparent.
Oh, good. Yeah. You just, you did not just pop out of that documentary. You've been doing this over and over and over again.
Exactly.
And I also know that the protests were termed by some people, these are just lazy Gen Zs that have nothing to do. They're just showing up with a flag and a bottle of water. Let them be. Until now, the nation realized, oh my God, this is serious than we thought, right? Walk me back. What's your why? What was your awakening moment? What was that moment where you started, you were like, enye vitu ziendi right kwa hii nchi? What was that moment like for you, even before the protests? Had you recognized a gap? Were you feeling agitated? Were you feeling some type of way?
Okay, Lynn, the first thing that I'll tell you that nothing is a threat to the government than dealing with a politically woke generation, or dealing with a generation that is elite on what is supposed to be done.
Yes.
Now, me coming to the picture and trying to fight for these changes, it started way back before the Gen Z revolution that actually started on 18th June.
Yes.
That was the first protest that led to the death of Rex Masai. So before that, I was doing a lot of things. I had started my podcast, which although I could the reception that I wanted, and also the main reason that I joined journalism is because I wanted to make change. I personally am born and raised in Kibra. Currently, I'm still staying in Kibra. And that is one of the areas that you get to see the political discourse firsthand. You get to see how the government is misusing its own citizens, how the government is misusing the public funds, how the government is making sure that the population of Kenya, or the lower class, or let me say the poor, or let me just call them the poor voters, because we are the people who elect them, don't elevate to the levels that they get elite, to make sure that they make the changes that are necessary in the society. So I witnessed that from long time ago. And now when I had the chance or the voice to do it, yes, I stepped into the picture. And I'm just happy that right now I'm being recognized, and I'm pretty hoping that it's something that does not die over time, because wanasiasa wetu sema that we move on.
We move on. We sympathize.
We sympathize.
And we move on.
Yeah.
You growing up in Kibra and being such, seeing how these politicians use the masses to achieve their own goals, how did that make you feel?
The first thing that usually saddens me when it comes to the question that you've asked, how politicians do that, is how politicians take us for granted, or how politicians use money to bribe us, or because we come from there. Let me just be honest, because people stay in Kibra, we are termed poor. And mostly financially. Poverty can also come in terms of having the knowledge and the intellect on things. So we are termed poor, and so when somebody knows how to control the poverty, because poverty is a business on its own, so you find that if I'm lacking 200 shillings and a politician come and give me that 200 for me to go do something, he has power over me. And they've come to discover that money, or just finding a way of persuading these people with the little tokens or things like that, is going to control them. So I, being one of the people that noticed this, I'm trying to find a way of making sure that from today onwards, or from the time that I started doing this thing, we find a way of, let me just call it a civic canvas or civic education to our masses, and just to remind them that You are the people who elect these people in the government, and it is their role to eliminate this poverty that you're experiencing. It is their role to make sure that you have better living standards. It's not their role to come and give you 200 shillings or 100 shillings to make sure that you continue living the poverty life, or you continue having the baddest or the most, let me say,
miserable life.
Miserable life, yeah. Let me just call it this way. It's their role to create the enabling environment for you to get out of this current situation that you are in.
But they will not.
Because
if they do that, then they don't benefit. And then for them to benefit, the poor must remain poor for them to be able to succeed, right?
Yeah, that's why I said the biggest problem to the government is dealing with a generation that is woke, especially. Who knows that we are supposed to be doing this, that these people are supposed to help us get from wherever we are.
Good.
So right now that people are woke, people know what is happening. I'm happy that you find that currently unapatata watu wazee, some people are telling iwezekane, because if you give me 200 shillings then you disappear for the next 5 years. How will it help me?
Yes, I saw some youths, because also conservancies are some of the things we are tackling here, and how conservancies are being used to keep our communities poor and poor. And I saw some youths, and there's this Maasai community that wanted to lease their land for 40 years.
Exactly.
And you saw the youths turn up and they said, this is our land and we will not allow that. And there was a bit of friction between the young and the older generation, right? Right now in Kibra, are you guys having a conversation with old people, you know, the millennials, the Gen X, the boomers? Are you having these conversations with them, and how is their reaction?
I can say that I personally am having that, because you find me in spaces that we now debate on what is supposed to be happening in Kenya currently.
Yes.
And if I'm in a position to educate one older person, or one person that was not politically woke, or one person who did not have information what is supposed to be done, then that is a plus for me, because yet again it's going to educate somebody else. And if I can change 5% of the 100% population, that means I'm doing something. And now spaces are coming up, because I know there's a guy in Kibra called Odhiambo Jiro. He's an activist, and there's also Elisha Ngoya. These people are trying to create spaces where these people, they try to educate the masses on what they are supposed to be doing, on what vices these politicians are creating to them, and coming in picture as the saviors. So we are having that conversation, and I'm happy that it's happening at the most crucial time when we are nearing the next general election.
I love that. I want to get deeper, maybe just trying to understand you as a person. Growing up, did you always know this is what you wanted to be part of?
Okay, I just knew that I wanted to become a journalist. And being a journalist, you can prepare that information that, okay, I've been living in Kibra, and I've been living in Kibra because the government made sure that I live in Kibra. So it was their main agenda that I continue staying in Kibra, and it was also their main agenda that I don't have the information on how I'm supposed to get out of this place, or how I'm supposed to stay in this community, but make sure that our lives are better. Because also getting out of the place, you get out, you go live in Kilelesho or Runda, but you still live the 99% in the same situation, that means there's no change. You just change your life, you never change the lives of these other people. So if I have a platform that now I'm telling these people that, okay, we are supposed to be doing this, this is what's supposed to be happening. And when I come to that discovery is when I can say, when I now learn that I'm living my purpose.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
You feel good about it.
I feel good about it.
And the reason I asked you that, it's because I know there are so many young people that are going to be watching, and they are very interested in being at different spaces. The careers our parents had, our parents, I'm the older generation, right? But the careers that some of our parents would have loved to see us execute, that's not what you guys are interested in. You are interested in some of the things that people would weird. How was the support for you when you said mom, dad, or any family member that is there with you currently, any present family member, when you told the family, I want to do this, how was the support like? Did you struggle with that? Did you struggle with ulipewa blessings? Kainde?
What I can say is they never understood the essence of me going to do journalism, first of all. Our conservative, our old generation believe that kazi ni zile zenye you finish school, you get employment. It came with a lot of confusion, especially Now they started seeing me in the picture, especially in the Gen Z protest.
Yes.
Naambia, unafanya nini hizi? Utakufa, step, achana na hizi vitu. There's a point that they were also, they knew I was gone actually. But actually until now, they still don't support it fully.
Yeah.
But I'm just doing it, and I'm happy that they're coming in terms with it, and they're seeing the benefit of it. And especially now that they saw me in the documentary.
Yeah.
They knew our son is gone.
Yeah.
Our son is gone. But okay, I'll just tell you that, as I said in that documentary, that at that point that I was fearing about my life and my parents never seeing me again, just want to say it again. If we can create change, then there's no need for fear. If you know that this is what you wanted to do, then the fear is gone. Actually, the Gen Zs used to say fear is gone.
Fear is gone.
So for me, I can't just say I'm doing this thing for the better future. And if I die in the line of duty, that's okay, because I achieved what I wanted.
Okay, that's strong, and we'll get into that. But walk me through the protests, you know. So many things happened. I'm glad I was able to take part in all the protests, you know. And I feel like whenever people would meet in the field, there was this whole collective responsibility. People want change and they want it now. For you, how was it like being in the midst of these hundreds of thousands of people? And was there a moment where you were like, manze nini tumeanza? What is this?
You know, on June 18th, the demonstration ama the protests were there, but it was not that haikuwa imefika much.
Yes.
So the first of all, actually, I thought we were just going there to champion for finance bill. Most of us were not understanding the finance bill at the first. Then people started creating those platforms, ChatGPT, for us to understand and everything. Then before we went to the streets, you could see the actual demonstration online. You could go to Twitter spaces that lasted for almost 8 or 12 hours.
Yes.
People were just there discussing about the finance bill. And now when it came to June 25th that everybody was in the street, you know, I was in the street as early as 8 on June 25th.
Yeah.
When that video of me being trying to be put in that police car, that was around 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that I got to see it firsthand, how it started to how it ended. Because when you think around 11, Satano, that's when I knew, this thing is not as we usually expected it. First of all, ukishaona farasi in a protest, even the protest that used to happen before Zile's, I think ODM or something, there were never those farasi or everything. Those magari kubwa kubwa. That was, I knew that this thing is happening again. For the first time, I saw like, you see hundreds of thousands of people. Because I can say those people are more than 10,000.
Of course, they were hundreds of thousands.
People in the street, and if you do a head cut, I'm tall enough. So ukiangalia hivi juu, you can't even make a head count of how many people are in the streets. And all these people have the sole goal just to the finance bill to abolish, ama itupiliwe mbali. And I say, this is the generation. This is the right time to be alive in Kenya. It was the best moment to live in Kenya, actually. And I'm just sad that we got to lose some of our, let me say, strong soldiers that took part in that demonstration. And I can also have to just say rest in peace to those 60 people, first of all. And now that we started this thing, it's high time that we don't let this thing die. Because if we continue putting the pressure in the government, you see when we did that protest 25th, a lot of things happened. Of course, there was abolition of that finance bill. There was the scrapping of the CSS. And also there was that activism in the Kenyan youth. There's a lot of things that happened. Actually, let me call them achievement. Because now there's people came in numbers to support a sole goal, a better Kenya. Let me not call it finance bill, because we went past the finance bill. A better Kenya. So people came with the sole goal of making a better Kenya. And if we came with that sole goal of making a better Kenya, let's make sure that we continue with the same spirit, with the same fight. Because revolution is something that does not happen overnight. It will take time. And since we started it, let's not make it die. Let's make sure that this thing continues. That's why I'm happy when I see a lot of people still continue with the revolution. You see people like, what is his name? Joshua Okayo. The president of Kenya School of Law. They have that, they initially started Bunge la Gen Z. It's happening along Aga Khan Walk. They held it at Aga Khan Walk every Thursday. I'm really happy for that. I wish I could be part of it. They invited me to be there,
Yes.
but for the circumstances I could not. And I believe that there's a lot of ways of making sure that the conversation continue, because that's just doing this conversation or this having this conversation, making sure people are going to watch it, and people are going,
and people don't forget.
People don't forget, and people don't relent.
Yeah.
So if you are going to go forward, I just say, let's go forward.
Yes.
And if you are in any avenue or platform that you are able to make sure that change is, we have change, please make sure. Because you don't have to be in media to make change. You don't have to be in the streets to make change. You can just start by educating the smaller people that you have. If you have the information, you can start with what you have as we fight for the better Kenya.
Great. How are the protest days for you?
Very traumatizing, especially, for the first one, we had Rex Masai died, and I was not in the front line, so sikumwona, but I was in the street. Then the second one, actually I can say I attended all the protests until Nane.
Yes.
That's when they started to supply. I attended all of them, and they were very traumatizing, because people are telling you that there are people who started noticing me kitambo, leave alone the BBC, who are watching my TikTok and the things that I was posting on maybe X and YouTube. Well, these people will mark you, and finally you are going to watasema utauliwa, because then again came the abductions, people were killed. Remember Washington, what is his name? The guy who was dumped in Kware in Juja, Omondi. People like them, they died, and let's say the government say we sympathize and we move on. And so I was among those people, because I'm not dead, but people are telling me what I could mark. Because you see the videos that me being arrested, me being trying to put in those police cars. I'm not the one who took them. People took them and posted them online.
Yes.
And somebody, you don't know who is watching in Kenya. So I know it was really, really terrifying.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy that I'm still living today, and I live to tell the story.
Yes.
Because yet again, we have somebody to tell the story to the world. I'm just happy that I'm being part of those people.
You witnessed a lot of traumatic events. I even the point where you covered the comrade's head after he was shot dead. Chege. You witnessed so much. Mentally, how have you dealt with that?
That has been the biggest or the most difficult part of it. Because yet again, the mental part of it is something that you don't get overnight or over time. It's something that when you see something that reminds you of it, then you relive it, then it's all come back again. For example, I can say that I was in a happy place until BBC came into the picture. And I'm happy that those videos that were shown in that documentary, I didn't have them. I had not watched most of them before. So I just did the interview. I don't know what was happening. And I answered the question that they asked and things like that. But when I come to watch it again, that when you start to realize that you don't even want to see somebody who is dead, or you don't want to even visit a hospital. Because I remember after the June 25th, and I visited Mbagathi Hospital, District Hospital, to go see a friend of mine. He's called Emmanuel. He was shot, rubber bullet to the eye. Until today, the left eye is not fully healed, because you know how strong that rubber bullets are. And he was my friend, so him being hit on the eye meant a lot. And I also got to witness a lot other people who are not in the statistic of what happened, who suffered bullet wounds, who are just injured by the police. Because at that place, I found a guy from Kangemi. He was shot, but shot on the
hip.
So he was shot in the hip, and the bullet ikakwamia huko ndani. I don't know how the guy is doing right now. And you seeing those things just pile to what you are going to be suffering from for maybe say the rest of your life, or for the near future. And until today, I can say that I'm not fully healed from that, because yet again, I'm not a psychologist, so I don't know if I'm okay or if I'm not. But if you relive those moments, then you get to see, okay, these people died, and maybe I should not be in the street. You don't know, because those people, huwezi jua kama somebody ako tu mahali aiming at you and things like that. You saw those people die, and maybe you are the next in line, and you don't know if that person got over it, especially now the conversation is on again, and I'm in the picture as one of the major voices.
Yeah.
You don't know what is happening. You don't know who is coming after you. So there's that, just let me say, paranoia also with it. Maybe hata kesha utakuwa, because for the past 2 weeks I've been in hiding. Huwezi sema tuko place flani, you did a good thing, but you have to be in hiding for you. And you're wondering why. I just narrated a story, and the pressure is coming from the public that you have to be in a safer place. It's not that you chose to be that place, but people are fearing for your life. You see, if it reaches to a point that people are fearing for your life more than you fear for your life, just know that, I don't know if you will never be in the same place mentally, or because now unaanza kuishi that maybe nitakufa kesho, maybe nitakufa the next day, but what is happening? There's nothing that you can do about it. So okay, let it come.
And you know, you've said something very important. People are fearing for your life more than you fear for your life. What do you think that says about our country?
People are fearing for your life more than you fear for your life. First of all, that point nani bring to what happened in Ngong Road last week, 30th. An MP is gone down in public, saa moja jioni. So that's an MP, a whole MP, who is have government protection and everything like that. Then comes to me, a normal citizen, just trying to make change. What about me? Maybe hata naza dungwa tu na kisu somewhere else. Nobody notices. We'll just sympathize and we move on. I don't know why.
People are killed all the time,
you know? People are killed all the time.
We sympathize and we move on.
So people fearing for your life more than you fear for your life. That's you yourself, you live in limbo because you don't know if you'll ever get out of it. Ukienda mahali, now I have to work with this is tunaenda tu everywhere because just for the essence of security. Because maybe ataona kitu mapema nini is good in those fields, and just trying to unaogopa like unaishi unaishi kama utakufa kesho actually, or in the next minute. And because something ikikuwa repeated over and over, because wewe unaweza sema ilisha, but unapata wewe anakukumbusha, that person reminding you, that person reminding you. You go to places that you don't even know somebody, you don't know them but they know you. They tell you, but how are you doing? Are you safe? Especially that aspect of, are you safe? Hope you stay safe. There are some people who till today in the morning somebody sends you a message, are you safe? Are you okay? Good morning. And you know that inakuongeza hiyo fear. Unaweza sema ati let me just dismiss it and things like that. But it never goes away. Because if I dismiss it today, then tomorrow you remind me of it. How has it helped me? But nitakuwa na relief, and the fear of it, that's the hardest part of it.
It's the hardest.
But we just journey on because there's nothing that we can do in Kenya. People are watu wameuliwa in Kenya, government, politicians, and just last year we lost 60 Gen Zs, and you see very prominent people being gunned down. What of you, a normal person? So just say, if they are coming for you, let them come for you, because unapata those abductions, people walikuwa nafungiwa for 2 weeks, those are normal citizens. Because I'm just happy that they came out alive. One of them is my classmate actually in Mount Kenya University, who until today haizitembea normally. Bernard Kavuli was abducted for 2 weeks. Unapata imefika point yenye Bernard can't even go to school normally. Kenya is telling you, okay, you are our hero. I'm their hero. But mimi si hero wangu mimi mwenyewe, because I feel that naenda kukufa. You feel like somebody might be coming for you.
Is it putting you at a hard place? Because one, I can sense the fear, and on the other hand, you want this message to continue. You don't want people to forget. Are you caught up between a rock and a hard place?
Yes, I am at that place. But then again, you have to, as I said, if you're in the line of duty trying to champion for a better Kenya, then that will be it. A lot of Kenyans have died trying to do that. I will not be the first person. Let me just say that. So, because yet again, there's nothing I can do about it. It's now the high time that we have to have these conversations. If we don't have this conversation right now, then who else will have it? Because this is the right time, the right moment, the right place. We have the next generation where we need to clean the government. We need to send like 75%, let me say 95% of them home, and re-elect new of them, so that maybe you can feel safer. But we still don't know if that will happen. And now that I can maybe champion for that, yes, let me try to do that.
You know, in journalism, there's always this very common phrase that comrades use around, and they will tell you, you know, there's no story is worth your life. And I get sometimes it's very hard to be a journalist and an activist at the same, because I faced similar things where someone, just because out of the goodness of their heart, they've had to check up on me and be like, Lynn, are you safe? But then I can't explain what is happening inside my heart, because you feel, yeah, no story is worth your life, but you also feel like, honestly, I want to do this. You feel like you want to have these conversations, no matter how tough they are. Do you believe no story is worth your life, or is it time we do away with that notion?
I think it's high time we do away with that notion, because some story is worth your life. There's a story that happened in Citizen, was it like 2 years ago, about the gun
cases.
The gun cases. That story was, if the lady, Purity was not like very cautious, that's a story that can easily end her life, because you don't know who is coming after you. That story alone was enough to cost Purity her life. So if we say that there's no story is worth your life, no, that's a fallacy. You have to do away with that, because there are some stories that if you say they're not worth your life, then means that you're going to leave those people to continue living those vices, those people who are affected. If the person who did fake fertilizers in Kenya did not come out with that story, hadi sasa tungekuwa tunauziwa fake fertilizers, and you know,
people would even die.
And you know, people who take such do such businesses are people who have connections. They can make sure that you don't wake up tomorrow and the story never air. So if you say that some story is not worth your life, I think it's a fallacy. We need to do away with that, because okay, I already did the documentary, so what? If we do away with it, if somebody had marked me, bado atanikujia. The story is already out there. And also to have in mind, the BBC did not expect the outcome of the documentary. They just knew the documentary was there because they have done a lot of documentary, of course. But they did not know that within 1 week, story itakuwa na 5.3 million views.
Heading to 6.
And heading to 6. They did not know that a story that will create a conversation across Kenya, for it to being shut down to air on our local media, mainstream media.
Yeah, you were in the documentaries documenting every moment, but some of the youth representatives, KJ, some of them like KJ, that people thought, you know, these are the youths we are sending to parliament so that they must stand, you know, we must stand and we must be unified. This is for a common goal. Was at the forefront saying, you know, this is Photoshop. Can we just play that? Because this is something I want people to continue remembering about this man for life. Let's just watch that.
A fake demonstration was organized, Mr. Speaker. And the lie persists, Mr. Speaker, because even some of the photos that we were seeing out of the streets, I can tell you as a graphic editor that they do not belong to this country. Photos were being taken off the internet and being edited and posed as Generation Z. I am a photo expert, Mr. Speaker, and I can point out to you photos that were edited to look like they were in the streets of Nairobi, but they were not.
Yeah, that's just him there saying he's a photo expert. You are a photojournalist, right?
Yes.
Him, he's a photo expert. And you are living those moments. You are right at the center of this protest. For you to hear someone that had been admired by so many young people previously uttering such statement, how did that make you feel?
For KJ, first of all, it's absurd, because KJ, I'm not that old, but KJ was among people who are in Ridiculous.
Yes.
The show that criticized Moi's government.
Now he's the Ridiculous.
No, okay, he's more than just being ridiculous.
Yep.
You know, he was among the people, the faces that Kenyans show that can bring change to us.
Yeah.
And now that in Parliament, ashapewa some of the tokens, because I believe for you to do that, there's some benefit financially that you're going to get out of it. Is both actually, wacha niseme hivyo. And anaenda pale anasema, I'm a photojournalist, and these pictures were edited. These pictures are not from Kenya. Me, I was in the front line. I want him to explain to me how those videos that hata mimi mwenyewe sikuwa nimeona were edited for me to be in the videos. and how thousands of Kenyans were edited to be in hapo mbele ya parliament. So if those pictures or the photos, the videos were edited, explain to us how these people are dead because of photojournalism, because of photo editing. Yeah, okay, if the pictures were edited, then why is Rex Masai dead? Why is Chege dead? Why is Eric Shieni dead? Because if they edited those pictures, means it's just a propaganda. It's not something that is real. But the fact that they died means that it was something real. We were there to champion for our right, and you saw that they are not our rights. It's your right to make sure that we're dead or to make sure that we don't progress according to what we want. So, KJ, you saying that those photos were edited is, I don't know, it brings some, let me say, cognitive dissonance between you and us and the entire Kenya, and between you and yourself. Because how, you're a photo editor, of course, but how did you edit? Edit those people to be back in life. Because
bring them back.
Bring them back.
It's easy as that.
It is easy as such because in some photos have footprints and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, bring them back. Bring us back Rex Masai. Bring us back Chege, Eric Shieni, Erickson Mutisia. Just bring them back. We need to see them alive. Bring back the 12-year-old that was killed. Bring back those people that we discovered in Kware. I was actually in Kware. I saw those bodies being discovered.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I witnessed people being edited in real life. I witnessed them being discovered wakitolewa Kware. And how did that happen? If you are the photo editor, as you claim you are a photo expert and things like that.
Bring them back.
Yeah. Maybe you were a photo editor during Ridiculous. But right now you are not. Just shut up, because whatever you're saying in government right now, whatever you usually say in parliament, is not what people elected you.
Yeah.
It's not what the people for Dagoretti elected you to do.
But he's not the only sarcastic member of parliament we have right now. We have a couple of them, and most of them are quote-unquote youths, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel represented as a young person by these youths? And also being a journalist, when you watch people like Moha of Jicho Pevu betray the cause, does that not make you feel some type of way?
You know, there was a time that we did not need BBC to do the documentary. We had Moha. Moha kaingia parliament, and that's how we lost Moha. Mohammed just gone like that. And we also have a lot of other people, youth in the parliament, who we elected to represent the youth, who are nominated to represent the youth. That brings me to wondering who nominated them. Because if we chose them to be there to represent us, and they are actually misrepresenting us, then there's a problem, there's a discourse. So people like Moa, if you are elected in parliament to bring change, just make sure that you bring that change. Because at the long run, if it's money you are after and you're doing a good job, these people will elect you for the next 40 years.
Yes.
Because there are people, there's a MP who was in parliament for 25 years. What is his name? Onyonka. Onyonka has been in parliament doing God's work, doing what Kenyans elected him to do for 25 years.
Yeah. It's 25 or 15?
No, that is for the MP. Yeah.
Collectively.
Yeah, collectively. So for MP and the senator.
Yeah.
And that is because he's doing a great job. So if you are doing a great job, most of them maybe have the fear that we're just doing this for the first time, or maybe we are gone. But if you're doing a good job, Kenyans will see and will reward you. You'll continue doing the good job. And you'll be there for the rest, maybe for the rest of your life, because the MPs go for you can do mpaka ukufie huko.
Yeah.
So don't have the fear of maybe, if you are motivated by money, then that is the most absurd reason for us to elect you. We need somebody that is motivated by the agendas, the manifestos, the change that they want to bring. So if we are going to elect other youths to represent us, or the younger generation, because I believe the next government there is going to be like, maybe in 60% are going to be the younger people. Because now again, we have a conversation that is shaping the political landscape of Kenya, that is trying to make sure that the younger generation are in this government. By the right means, we are going to make sure that the younger generation are in this government. And I'm just urging any other Kenya outside there, watch what is happening and make sure that you do what is happening, the right thing.
All right. Yeah. You've been very straightforward on the course, but there are people who feel like there are some people who came, benefited and betrayed the movement. Some of them including the tomboy wannabe Kasmuel.
Magaure.
Yes. How do you feel about such people?
Actually, Kasmuel came at the right time, at the right moment, for us to notice the type of people that we are. Somebody can come dressed as the angel, but the angel, the actual devil. I'm not saying Kasmuel is the devil. That's something to explain what we are doing. So Kasmuel, we held him, we praised him. We knew that he was going to be some of the people, the sober minds that were going to represent us. And once he was approached and a narrative was created around him that he was among the people who are leading the Gen Zs, he was approached very easily because he was there for the grab. He was grabbed akawekwa to the, let me say, the opposition, the current, I don't know if it's a working opposition.
Me too. I don't know.
I don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know if they are opposition anymore.
Yes.
But akawekwa hapo. Then the other day I saw him just now addressing the president.
Yes.
This happened. I did not gain anything. Okay. So the entire time you were there after money. You just wanted to benefit out of it. And we believed in you as a youth, because for us to believe in Kasmuel, we saw that he was resonating with us. Kumbe, he was doing it for the cameras and for the he had an ulterior motive, what he wanted to gain. So for somebody like Kasmuel, what I want to tell you is that we chose you because we know that you are going to represent us.
Yes.
But then again, you are approached, but you approached blindly, because if you never saw what was coming, that is up to you. So for you, I don't know what I can say to you, but you are not the right people to represent us.
Yeah.
So if you are going to do anything, don't just be on the movement. Be on your own. Be Kasmuel Makwaure. Don't say that, okay, we are Gen Z, we are representing the Gen Z. Which Gen Zs? Because you are no longer part of the Gen Zs, according to what the Kenyans are saying. That's why unapata these days that it's become irrelevant. Nobody's paying attention to whatever he's saying. He tries to say something, we create memes out of them. So for people like Kasmuel, no, it's not your time.
Yeah.
We ngoja wakati wengine, because we don't know if you're going to benefit in the next government. If you're going to benefit, please go, because you've already presented yourself as an opportunist. Whatever comes your way, you're going to do with it. So it's your time. It's up to you to decide what you want to do.
That must have been hard for young people to witness.
Exactly.
Being betrayed by one of you.
We really praised him. People praised him. Everybody, even the older generation, was saying, this is Tomboy reborn.
Yeah.
And how he was dressing, how he was addressing the media, talking. Okay, we know that this was somebody who was sober, who could bring change to the Kenyans, but it never happened.
Yeah.
So let us blame ourselves for trusting you.
I'm equally betrayed. I had faith. I sat down with him. And I beat myself with his butt. Just like him, when it came to the documentary, the participants or the key heads of that documentary, there are people who felt like there are certain faces that should not have been there. And there was a conversation on X on what's Boniface doing here, what's Hanifa doing here. You know, there were a lot of mixed reactions. Some people actually said you should have just let Allans be the one talking, because he lived it, he experienced it, and he knows what was going on. What do you have to say about that?
First of all, I just want to tell Kenyans, I never knew those people were in the documentary until the documentary came out. All of us, we did the interview separately. I just knew that there were other people. I never knew they were activists. I never knew they were politicians. I never knew the lady from the Law Society of Kenya would be there.
Yeah.
When I saw the documentary is when I saw those faces. And for people to say that, actually I don't have any personal problem with Boniface Mwangi or Hanifa, because we've not met at first hand.
Yes.
Hanifa, we just met wakati tulipigiwa tear gas, tukajificha a Nation Center for some hours. But by then, she was not, hakuwa ananijua, so mimi sina personal problem with them.
Yeah.
And Kenyans feeling that they betrayed them or they are benefiting from their from the Gen Z's blood or from the Gen Z's hard work, that means Kenyans have noticed something. Just the way they noticed from Kasmuel, that means they have also noticed something in them. And I'll just say it again, I don't have problem with them, because I don't know the genesis of the beef with the Gen Zs. Because, okay, Hanifa did a great work during the Gen Zs. He was among the people who were helping raise the funds for the Gen Zs and things like that.
Yes.
Then again, Boniface Mwangi came in with the placards and everything. And Boniface Mwangi has been there for a couple of times.
He's been there for a minute.
For a minute. And a lot of people have been there in those spaces. Before the Gen Z protest, people didn't have a problem with Boni.
Yeah.
Meaning when the Gen Z came, Boni did something that people did not deem right.
Something happened.
Something happened. So it's up to you to go
And correct
it and see what you can do around it. Because yet again, something that you've been doing for years, and within a period of 1 year, now everybody deem you as let me say,
a beneficiary
of the hard blood. I don't know how I can term it, but I've seen what they have done. I've seen what Boni amefanya yenye mimi actually personally siwezi fanya, because me I like to call myself a journalist.
Yes.
And Boni calls himself activist. So there's that difference. Unaelewa?
Yeah.
So there's things that Boni can do that I cannot do. There are things that I can do that Boni Face cannot do. Just like I said, if you're in a position to create change, use that position to do it.
Yes.
I can do it through journalism. Boni can do it through activism and through Power 254.
Yeah.
So I don't want to come out as somebody that... so I just say that if you're in a position to do something, do it. But it's up to you, Boniface and Anifa, to go and just reread the pages that you already passed.
Yes.
Uangalie where you did the mistakes. And maybe talk to Kenyans.
Right your wrong.
Right your wrongs.
Good.
Yeah.
We'll leave that at that, because I know people have very mixed reactions in regards to those two. But the documentary came out, and as you said, even BBC alone might not have anticipated for it to be as viral as it did. It being viral, what does that signify? And when you watched yourself in that documentary, being an active participant, how was that like for you?
When I was watching the documentary, actually, I knew that I did the interview.
Yeah.
But I come in at around the 7th minute of the documentary. So when I was watching the documentary, actually I thought that wamenitoa siku kwa the documentary. So when I came in that, okay, I'm here. So that actually meant that I meant something to BBC.
Yes.
And that they used my voice and my face to paint whatever they wanted to come out. And now the documentary going viral, that was the bigger part of it. Because I watched the documentary when it was around 10,000.
Yes.
And I didn't know that it was going to go to that number that it is currently, almost 6 million in counting. But now the documentary is out. Everybody is... the entire country has changed whatever they were discussing before. Now it's the documentary. I remember going to X at around 9 in the morning. Nikaona #Ademba. Yeah. The moment I saw #Ademba, it was around 3,000 tweets.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, maybe there's another Ademba. I had to click. I see people, I saw people, Akina Kimuzi and everybody. So which is Ademba? So actually, Kimuzi is one of the people the first people to tweet on me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what is happening? So because I was if you watch the documentary correctly, mimi niletwa mbele. Meaning because you know how journalism works. There's prominence.
Yes.
Ikienda hivyo. So they started with the Boniface Mwangi, the Hanifa, Babu Wino, the madam from Law Society of Kenya. And that's when I come into picture. Meaning they did not expect me to be one of the bigger, like, niseme, people to come out as the hero or anything in that documentary. So mimi, at the moment, then it's something that is going to, because tuko na kina Boniface, tuko na Hanifa, tuko na Babu Wino, MP. So who am I? Just a normal, actually if you see it's written, student journalist. What am I going to do here? And when it went viral, that's when it hit me that, okay, now you are no longer, because these people call me Bob. You're no longer Bob, now you're Ademba.
Oh, your friends call you Bob.
Yeah. So because they call me Bob. Now, when I'm with them, I'm Bob.
Yes.
Now, but when I step outside where they are, I'm Ademba. Now I'm like, hey, this is different. Even my mom has never called me Ademba. That other name, Bob.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, now I'm not the same person. And yesterday nilienda town just to kuona kama people wananijua, and I'm like, hey, I had to nikachukua cab.
Ukasema atokea.
Yeah. So imeniweka hata a better position for my brand or for Ademba, but I still imeniweka in a bad position when it comes to our government that is supposed to be celebrating me for helping those people. So yeah, it's good and it's bad.
But we do celebrate you, Ademba.
Thank you for that.
We do, and don't wait for them to do it. We do here, and the thousands of people who will tune into this interview, we do celebrate you. You might not get the medal, you might not get that president's whatever, but we do celebrate you, right?
And I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. People said, tokea hii story, seek asylum, leave the country. But you have stood strong and you've said you are not going anywhere.
Yes.
You don't want to.
And I will not. So people, Kenyans are concerned about me, really concerned. Let me believe it that way.
Yeah.
Because of something that I've witnessed across different social media platforms, from Instagram to YouTube, TikTok to X. It's something that I've noticed across. People are concerned about me. And you see, every morning, there's a time that my number was going around. People are checking on you, are you safe, are you safe? And at the same time, you don't know who is checking on you. Maybe they're just saying, are you safe? And the conversation flows, then you're gone. So let me say, you celebrate me and everyone else celebrate me, but there are people who are not celebrating me. There are other people who are saying that whatever he's doing is not right. Because for those people, let me say the exact example that I want to use, because again, these are the people who are abducted. They were tarnishing the name of the president. Yeah. Let me use the example of Joshua Kayo, who was abducted even before the protest escalated to the level that they were.
Yes.
Yeah. So for people like him who are doing a really good job, but they later came to feel whatever was happening, it's the same case to me. Because me, I never did it for the cameras. I never knew I was recorded. Yes, I have some selfie videos of me in the street and everything like that. But those videos coming out, me covering the bodies of Chege, mi mwenyewe nilizipata, watu ndio walinitumia when the documentary is now out. Like unasema this person has had this video all this time, nini. So if you're coming after me, please come, because yet again there's nothing I can do. I'm just Ademba, so yeah. Okay.
But the reaction from the political circle was very sarcastic, stupid, and can we say in a way, I don't know if it's okay to use that. Yeah. And some of the people went even in parliament and they were like, people are killed all the time. We sympathize and we move on. I saw that MP trying to go back on his word and saying that's not what he meant, but that's exactly what you meant. How was it like for you seeing the people who are supposed to represent you discrediting this whole documentary and saying BBC have been paid to come up with this documentary? Also, why now? And also not all those people died, KDF were not involved, etc., etc. So many people in government came out and discredited the whole thing. How was that like for you, and what would you like to say about it?
And don't forget, they never even watched it. There's one who atakuweza kujua the title.
Bloodbath.
The bloodbath.
The bloodbath.
I never know kwenye kulikuwa na
bath. It's the guy on your screen, guys. Yeah, bloodbath.
Yeah, the guy who said bloodbath. Meaning hata wakuona the documentary. And the only person who saw mwenye I think aliona the documentary was this Millie. Millie, I think, watched the documentary and he was very sure of what she was going to say.
Yes.
But these other people. Now the woman anasema people die, we sympathize and move on. That is Bashir. Who died and who said that we moved on? People died. Did we say that we move on?
No.
Okay. If we say people die and we move on, meaning that if somebody dies today, we bury him, we forget that he ever existed. We lost 60 people. That is, I don't know if you can see the magnitude of 60 people if they're put in a room.
Yeah.
We lost 60 people. That is a whole church. That is a whole classroom somewhere.
Yes.
We lost 60 people. How do you expect us to get over 60 people dying for no reason? How do you expect Kenyans, the people who elect you to those positions, to get over the fact that the government that's supposed to protect these 60 people killed these 60 people? Because again, the video shows exactly who killed these people. The video shows that the guy who shot these people is military, Kenyan military. The video show clearly where they were, inside the parliament, shooting at people, running from the parliament.
Yeah.
We are not saying that there is justification to what happened in parliament for the vandalism and things like that, but there's no justification to you killing them. There's the rule of law that is supposed to be upheld in Kenya, because the constitution is the sole thing that governs the government of Kenya. If the constitution was to be, let me say, followed to the letter, because again, the first chapter of the constitution is sovereignty of the people, which means that people have the power, people have the mandate. And there's that people shall, optional. People shall, mandatory. People may, optional. So there's that aspect of it. Why are we forgetting that the Constitution is what gave these people the right to do this? And if you felt that these people did wrong, it was up to you to trace them, arrest them, take to the court, let the court follow it. If the court find them guilty, they're charged or they're jailed.
Yeah.
Why did you kill them? There's no justification to that. Because then again, from those videos, if you kill them and you watch those people, you can see that this, and you have clear evidence that this person did this, just arrest him. There's no need of you killing him and shooting in front of people, in the public actually, where cameras are for you, and somebody else will say that they were edited. I don't know, you said that these people were edited, they never died. I don't know. That's according to them. But these people already died. There's no way that we can move on until the family of these people get closure. And there's nothing, and justice is served. There's nothing that we can do until the mother to Rex Masai get closure, until the mother of Eric Shieni, Chege, let's say Erickson Mutisia, and Denzel Omondi from JKUAT University, until these parents get justice. Until IPOA present to this parent that this is the person who killed your son, and these people have been arrested or they're in court facing trial. Until Kipchumba Murkomen is the current CS, until he comes out and say that we've arrested these people and justice is served to this family, there's no closure that we're going to get. And mind you, even after you arrested these people, Denzel Omondi is never going to come back. We are never going to have Erickson singing to Nyashinsky.
Oh boy.
We are never going to have that. Justice will be served, but there is also a question. Then what is justice? What amount of justice will bring closure? Which I don't know if I'm in a position to answer. That's according to the government to answer. Because if we say we are fighting for justice, what is the justice? Wanazatuambia wameshika those people, but we never know. Because yet again, in the Kware murders, there's this guy who killed them. I can't remember the name, who was taken to a police station.
The one who escaped.
Yeah, Nakatoroka.
Yes.
How do you escape from
prison? Why are you playing with our mind? Yeah?
Like I said, we are the woke Kenyans.
Yes.
Okay, let me just call ourselves that. We know things happen. We know that there's no way, because that's one of the best police stations that we have in the country, according to the government.
No way he could just have escaped.
Just escape. Somebody must have the key to that locker, to that police cell.
Or you played with our minds.
You played with our minds.
Yeah.
It was called Collins Jumaisi.
Good, Collins.
His name
Collins Jumaisi.
Yeah,
and he just left.
He just left.
Yeah.
Hajapatikana hadi wa leo. So means that we never get the killers to baby Pendo. You see? Because kama mtu alishikwa ametoroka, what about mtu hajashikwa? Hatutaimpata.
Good.
Yeah. Na ukampeleka police station na katoroka, then you come unatupea press conference that the main suspect to the killer of let me say a number of women in Kware escaped ama alitoroka. What is that? What are you trying to tell the normal Kenyans? Yeah, it's high time we check on that too.
Yes. We can't just sympathize, and
move on.
Yeah, but there is shame on you guys. like shame on you, right? Shame on you. That actually broke my heart. The fact that even he got the documentary name wrong, and he was there, bloodbath. God,
and he kept repeating it
over and over again. You know, it's weird that you clean up nice like that to stand in parliament,
a suit,
and you say and you say such things. I think it's a bit weird.
And then again, we have to talk about the seriousness of that day in the hearing in the parliament. Ukiona that video, kuna mtu alikuwa anapiga simu hapo nyuma.
Ako tu nyuma.
The parliament was actually noisy, aijaja, like, because that means that they were not taking anything serious.
But you would think if a whole expose has been done and it's telling you that even some of the soldiers have been involved, you would expect parliament to be full the next day.
Yeah.
Because every MP showing up to fight for the rights of the people that they're representing.
Actually, it should have been full the way it was full when they were voting for the
finance bill. But you saw how empty.
It was too.
you saw how empty it was.
Empty. Like 90, let me just say 70% empty. Where were they? And the ones that were there were never even paying attention to whatever was happening.
Yeah.
We're just happy that that was captured on camera. It's not something that we are creating, that we have edited. They captured it on their own cameras, the parliament cameras. Yeah.
Si yetu.
Si yetu.
Si photoshopped. But do you think Kenyans have completely lost faith in this government, in the president? Just the other day, we saw Hashu.
Surely.
Surely.
Nasema nanita shujaa.
Shujaa. We gon' go there. Should this? You know, we just saw people, and people shouldn't have thrown that shoe like that. But we saw that humiliation. What does that signify? And do you think people have completely lost faith in this guy?
Okay, what I commented about that on X was, how did we come to this? There's a time that we used to praise presidents. We used to
respect the presidency.
Just the name president. To a point that unapata little to nothing would happen. Ama even if the president anakuja, there's a time walikuwa na cleared for them the road.
Yeah.
But at this point unaona a shoe flying over, really captured on camera, ikampiga. What does that signify? That these people have lost faith in you. You are no longer the person that they choose, and they don't want you to continue hapo kupunguza gharama. I don't know the gharama ya vitu that was being punguzwa, but it must have spooked the people in the crowd to make sure that hawapunguzi gharama hiyo kitu. So so if you see such, because yet again that was just one aspect that we saw on camera. A lot of things happen for you to see people creating memes of our president, because a lot of things happen. I had a rumor, I don't know if a rumor or it's a story, that there's a time that Mwai Kibaki faced some humiliating incident, but nobody spoke about it.
People covered him up.
People covered him up because he was one of the best presidents we have ever had in Kenya. And there's little to no place that you find Kibaki faced that humiliation. People are now calling the former president their darling. That is Uhuru Kenyatta. And why is that? And why is even when he's out of the government already, but you're still in government, the people who elected you, who you said gave you over, let me say, 5 million votes, don't want you. I don't know if these people can sit down and see that 5 million people don't want me right now. Because 5 million people is... I don't know if the population of Nairobi reaches alone 5 million. So if 5 million people don't want you, then it means that you're doing something wrong. It means that your manifestos have failed. It means that you're not upholding whatever you stood for. You stood for bottom up. You stood for bottom up. That failed. He stood for reduction, things like fertilizer. He stood for the youth. He stood for doing away with the operation when it comes to the dynasty. Now it's the dynasty. And he's forgotten totally what happened. He stood for justice. He stood for justice.
He said, you know, police would not
be killing people. We've had killings of people. Rivayala happened during his time too. Hata kama alikuwa deputy ama alikuwa nini, bado ni time yake. So whatever you stood for failed. And these people no longer believe in you. And day by day you give them a reason not to. Day by day you make sure that, oh, umendo me donate 20 million kwa church somewhere.
We pledge
100 in a well-built church that you can see that this church is in a position to finance itself, but people are dying of hunger in Turkana, floods, inashinda watu ku-control, that you can just say that, okay, this 20 million, let's do kama turekebishe, kama the flood part of it into the main problem, kama 20 million can reduce the 30% of it, umetusaidia a bigger part of it. Maybe kama your 20 million can just go to making sure that there are better drainage system. You are the president. Inafaa kuwa umefanya hii. But wewe unaenda na over and over. Flying Uganda, Nairobi, Tanzania, I don't know where.
Kwa pop.
Kwa pop. Okay, so there was pop, and I don't want to go to the other term that it was called. But it's up to you to sit down, reassess whatever you're doing, and see if you're doing the right thing.
Kujiteka mkutano.
And also, it also narrows down to us. We are the people who elect these people. When it comes to time to make sure that these people are out of the government, let's make sure that we elect sober people. Let's make sure that sisi wenyewe we are elected in this government. Because yet again, we cannot do the change from outside. Time has proven that you have to be inside, and time has also proven that the people who elect go inside and change.
I love that.
Because we also elected, there was Toto. people like them, they were the youth that were supposed to present us.
Where
They were
is he,
scared.
by the
I don't
way?
know. We never hear of him. Sakaja is a young man. Let me just say.
But the whole of Nairobi has no street lights.
The last time nilisikia for Sakaja, I don't know if the guy is still there.
But speaking Sakaja, there's an episode we did. I know you'll watch this. There's an episode we did and you've not paid contractors. And I would love you guys to go and watch that episode again, because that message has to reach Sakaja. Those are fathers who their children right now are not in school because you've decided they will do the work, but you will not pay them. Do the right thing.
And I hear such cases. Maybe the current we are talking, say shule zimefunguliwa juzi, utapata the student ako home.
Actually, the father, we had here, the father, he said he has nothing to go and pay. Akwa na chochote, the kids have to stay at home because he can't afford to pay. But he did the work and they put millions in that contract and they are still yet to be paid.
I remember I was one of the clerks that were counting votes kwa hiyo election imepita, and if you could see the vote that the Kenyans casted for Sakaja, zilikuwa tu because Sakaja was the darling.
Yes.
Was
people's favorite.
people's favorite. But right now what is happening? Oh, beef yake imeenda na KPLC, I don't know. Whatever they are doing. Wanazimiana light and everything. So just reassess whatever you are doing. If you are the people that we elected to represent us, make sure that you do the right thing.
But before we wind up, so many people are coming up. Matiang'i is back.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why we were not talking of that.
Yes, Matiang'i is back. Omtata is right there. Wamunyoro is around. Ruto Kumi Tena.
Yeah. Let me start with, I will finish with Omtata.
Yes.
Let me start with Matiang'i.
Yeah.
And I just want to count to you some of them. During Matiang'i's time when we had Baby Pento's case. During Matiang'i's time is when we had Shakahola massacre. During Matiang'i's era is when the local media, tulitoka analog, wali shut down those TV, wacha ku shut down, there was just shutting down of analog to digital. Yeah. But there's a time that TV were being shut down, akina nini, if you hear a certain story. During Matiang'i time, ndio walikuwa na limit watu ku air certain specific things of things.
Yes.
And now Matiang'i is coming to the picture, and I join forces with the likes of Rigathi Gachagua, the former ousted deputy president, who to us was presented as somebody was corrupt, not fit, criminal. There is, in that gang also, there is Martha Karua, there is Kalonzo, there is Justin Muturi. Lynn Ngugi, and I don't know, Mukisa Kitui.
Yes.
And you can see that faction as good people, but the one they are presenting to us, the one with the stained, we stand already. Because why are they presenting Matiang'i, yet they have Martha Karua? Is it that they believe that a woman cannot become the president or next? Because we have little to no corruption when it comes to Martha Karua. And we have Justin Muturi, who has been the speaker for 10 years. Tumesikia, I don't know if there's corruption around him, but I don't think if there is. Then there's people like Lynn Ngugi. What time yao kwa agriculture imekuwa tu like troubles, problems everywhere.
Drama.
So if you are going to vote, or if you are going to say that wacha sisi tuwe na the Wamunyoro leadership, then angalia hiyo. Angalia the people in that power, the people in that, because if we elect Martha Karua, ana hizo shida. Tukielect Justin Muturi, ana hizo shida. Mukisa Kitui, I don't know, is more of a puppet to me. And we have people like this guy, the ousted deputy president, Gachagua. Hata sina kitu kusema kwake, but there's a lot of problems. Okay, we come to this other one. The president, current president of Kenya, that is what is his name? Ruto, William Samoei Ruto. Nasahau jina the president. So he's the current president. Akona the opposition.
Yes.
That already tells you that the other option that we had is already absorbed into the government, meaning that I don't know if the opposition will present a candidate.
Their own candidate.
And
but it's still in government.
It's
so
still
you
in
wonder,
government. That's how you wonder what is happening, because they call it broad-based government.
Yes.
You wonder what is happening. And so, okay, the Staki Wongelea, this current regime, because they will be there, obvious. But everybody ameona hizi zote. Kenyans are living to the problems that they created. So if it's up to Kenyans to make sure that they create a better government in the next one. Then we have Okiya Mtata. I believe, for me, Okiya Mtata is one of the best candidates. Though, as a journalist, I should stay neutral. But I'm saying this because of the merits of the fact that I have. He's one of the people that has been adamant in fighting for the Gen Zs. Not Gen Zs, but for the better Kenya. Because if I say the Gen Zs, it's like he's going to be president for the Gen Zs.
Yes, he's a Gen Z president.
Yeah, he's one of the people that has been fighting for political renaissance in Kenya to make sure that we have better leadership, we have accountability, we have transparency. And we also have Maraga. Maraga is the Okiya Mtata.
Yes.
So if you see Maraga has had little to zero problems and a little corruption attached to his name.
Yes.
So already this is a powerhouse. You can see if you're going for accountability, transparency, and everything like that, already took on these people that you can see that these are the people we are supposed to elect in this government.
Yeah.
I have to say, I was arrested with Okiya Mtata on ile siku yenye when the dawn of new year.
Yes.
We were arrested na tukapelekwa Central Police Station before he was transferred to another police station. And we spent the night there, tukaenda the court hearings until the court was dismissed sometimes back. That already inakwambia how powerful or how this guy believes in the rule of law. Because anaelewa that for you to champion for, that time we were fighting the abductions of youth. And me as a journalist, I went there to cover the story. Then it's when I realized that my classmate, Bernard Kavuli, has been abducted for the last 2 weeks. So I joined the protest, and sadly, I got arrested for protesting for the life of somebody that I know, that has been a very good student, maybe fighting for his grades and things like that. So I joined, we were arrested, we spent the night there. And that brings us back to Okiya Mtata. That only shows you that how this government is. And also to add on it, Okiya Mtata has been presenting bills and bills to the government. Okiya Mtata has been fighting for some of the most important cases in Kenya.
Yeah.
And if you go to this other government, that is the current government, already tukona hata hao wenyewe hawajelewi. Let me say it a fact. Kipchumba Murkomen amekuwa CS for 3 dockets in one term. Amekuwa CS for Interior, amekuwa CS for Transport, amekuwa there's this other docket. Sports. Yeah. Yes. Those are 3 dockets in one term. Does it mean that we don't have an alternative? Huh? Does it mean that we don't have somebody else who can play these roles well? And that comes to kuleta hiyo tuseme decentralization of power to a lot of people in the country. We elect different people to represent us in different roles. Because right now, if you can see in the entire cabinet secretary position, tukona just a few. I think the one who is youth, this other guy mwenye alisema ko, I don't know, 36 or whatever, is the younger one there. Does it mean that the youths cannot be in those positions? Yeah. So the youth need to know that when this new government is coming, they're in a position to be those MCS, to be those MPs, to be those governors, senators, and even the president. That's why I love when a lot of people come in to say that I will vie for this position, I'm going to vie for this, I want to be the...
We have options.
We have options.
Yes.
So when we are going to elect these people and they are going to nominate these people, now they have a clear number of people to nominate. And also not forgetting, still the government, they are making sure that we don't make the changes because they have the power. If we had EBC, unaelewa?
Yes.
I don't know if you had this information, but currently tukona 5 constituencies zenye hazina MPs. Why? Because there is no IEBC. Tukona Banisa constituency, tukona Gwasi constituency, tukona Ugunja constituency, tukona the late yenye this government MP alikufa. That is Kasipul, and 2 more constituencies. So why? Because the government, the moment watakuwa elect the IEBC, that means that there's that, because the IEBC bado inatupea power ya kurecall this the president. And also us electing leaders in the next election does not only mean that we focus on the president, because the stronger power resides here kwa the parliament, kwa MPs. So make sure that when we are electing these people from the grassroots to up, we make sure that we have sober minds of people that we know that can champion for change, to make sure that mkuwapo kwa parliament, they can change. Okay, when it comes to time to say we are impeaching this president, or the president said that we are impeaching the deputy president, we act on facts and reasons, not because we are motivated by a motive that as normal Kenyans cannot see, but mostly money and power. So yeah, it's
we
up
have to
us.
do better.
We have to do better.
And the next one,
especially.
we have to do better. Because unfortunately, some of these, we said we are not calling them leaders. The politicians are a reflection of who we are. Who we are. So we really need to do better.
We need to do better.
But Allans, thank you so much. I don't want to let you go before asking you this question. What legacy do you want to leave behind?
What legacy we want to leave behind? I would want to leave the legacy of Tom Mboya. More experience, because if Tom Mboya could do those things when Kenya was starting, and right now we are at a position that we are able to do anything. I want us to leave a legacy that we live on over and over, that these people, we are living this life because these people championed for this. I don't want us to leave a legacy that Lynn was in a position to use journalism to empower people, but he never did that. I don't want us to leave a position that we elected people in parliament who are in a position to give us better governance, who are in a position to keep the president in check, but they never did that. So I want us to leave a legacy of stainless, no stains to our legacy, and a legacy that is going to make sure that the generations to come remember us. And when those books of history are written, they say we are living this accountable life because of this generation.
Beautiful. And I'm sure history books will have your name on them. So we appreciate you. I think the generations to come will learn of you, they will hear of you, and they will see how, I know even in the midst of fear, you stood for something, because again, a man who stands for something falls for anything or something like that. But I also saw, maybe before I let you go, I saw some people coming through and supporting you. I love that you have a YouTube channel. I love that you've intentionally decided that you want to have very beautiful conversations on that platform. So maybe do you want to talk to us about your goals, your upcoming goals? And also I saw there was a number where people were blessing you, and feel free not to address it, but I also saw there was a number where people are sending in their support if they wanted to. So also feel free to share that. And also anyone who has come through, and just, there are a lot of beautiful tweets, there are a lot of beautiful posts about you. People really came through and they were really encouraged by what you did. What do you want to tell them?
First of all, Kenyans are good people. Kenyans are really good people when you do the right thing. So when I was coming to Limelight, I was not even ready for that, because I never knew it would happen. So when that thing came, I already had my own things going on, because I was trying to do the journalism part of it through social media and things like that. But I also had some other things on the ground, which I don't know. I'm just going to say it if they're going to turn it here. So I'm a champion for the youth development, especially in the less privileged areas. So Mimi, I do a lot of things. I'm into fashion, first of all. So I'm into fashion.
Looking
so
sharp.
I'm into fashion. So Mimi mwenyewe I have we have a youth group called Sabiko Group of Friends with my friend here and other 3 people. So we have a youth group, and through youth group we've developed Vibes and Thread, and we just hosted our first event that happened at Silver Springs, and now we are having our second edition that is going to happen on 14th of June. So under this, it's just if you watch or if you have attended other fashion events in the country, now this one we are focusing on the actual Kenyan creative industry, bringing those people, giving a platform to reach to other different people. And I'm happy that though Kenyans were not aware that I'm the person behind it, because we started it, Vibes and Thread. And right now we are just happy that the second edition of it is coming. Something that we just believe, because coming from Kibra doing that thing, unajua kwanza nobody's going to believe in it. And we did the first one, over 100 of people bought their tickets to the event. Now we are going to do this one. We are already selling the tickets. And if people are going to buy that, thank you. And if you're going to come, it's happening at Vibanda Village. Now, coming back to my career as a journalist, I have a YouTube channel that I'm going to continue doing what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that we shape the Kenya political landscape, because I'm a lover of politics, and I believe politics run the current lives of the country. So if we have conversation about politics, and I love the fact that Kenyans came out while they subscribed. I was at 400 subscribers, I equal 1.7K, just believing that with time it will grow.
Yes.
And I'm reaching to different people to have that conversation with them, and trying to find out. I was supposed to shoot an episode this week, and I still believe I'll do it.
Yes.
And also, Kenyans kwa kuni blessed through M-Pesa. That was a really good thing.
That was a surprise, yeah?
First of all, there's a guy in Twitter who had my number, akapaste, bila hata kuniuliza. And I just saw three people. Actually, I'll just say the first 3 people.
Yeah.
I wasn't to me a lot of money because I removed the number at some point. But let me just say within less than an hour, I had 30,000. That's sikuwa na pesa. People just sending, kuna wanatuma 1 bob, 2 bob. People sending.
Make sure jina ni yako.
Okay.
Okay, you 1 bob.
But all in support at the end of the day.
Yes.
And I'm just glad because the man that was in support now we are doing the second edition, and we've managed to secure the location.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad for Kenya. So Kenya can really support you if you are doing the right thing. Because Lynn, you have one of the biggest YouTube channels in Kenya because you've been consistent on doing the right thing over time.
Appreciate it.
And I really love your YouTube and how it has been growing. Because nilianza kuona I think during Tuko or something. Hadi sahi. So Kenyans can really support you, and I'm really appreciative for Kenyans. And if I drop my first episode, I believe Kenyans are going to watch it. And
we are gonna be there.
Yeah. Just want it to be, it's called Kenyan Filtered on YouTube. So my YouTube is Kenyan Filtered, but kuna jamasha kuja hapo na another parody account, Kenyan Filtered, because it's all the people subscribing.
It's okay, don't worry, we got you. We got yours. Don't change
so Kenyan
it.
Filtered yangu iko na Kenyan flag hapo mbele.
Yes.
So Kenyan Filtered with a Kenyan flag hapo mbele. So meaning we are having a conversation uncensored about the Kenyan politics and Kenya political landscape, everything that is shaping Kenya.
Yes.
And I believe over time nitakuja kupita Lynn ama
come on, go for it. Go for it, son. Go for it.
Yeah. So I'm grateful and I'm really championing for that because yet again I believe journalism is a very great tool to shape the society. Because hata ukifundishwa in journalism is one of the platforms that keep the government in check, educate, and also just remind people of what is happening. And I've always believed in that. That was the first aspect that I really bought when it comes to journalism. And that's why even if the local media is not going to give you that platform, I believe that right now we have a country that you can create that platform. And the fact that I'm still in school and right now I'm doing this means that when I do my last 3 units and graduate, and I already finished my attachment and things like that, Kenyans will support. That's why I want to start it right now.
Good.
And I'm really hoping that it's going to grow.
Honor your growth.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
go for it.
thank you, Kenya.
Go you.
I'm going for it.
Go you. Go you. We are here to support in whichever, whatever. So you go for it. Namba unataka tuweke kwa screen.
Tuweke, haina shida because hiyo ni namba tu ya M-Pesa.
Ku M-Pesa, you wanna say it ndio wajue ni yako.
Yeah, it's okay. So
you can,
my number is 0743990726.
Okay.
So 0743990726. The name is just Ademba Allans.
All right.
The way it goes social media.
Yes.
So thank you. And okay, my friend was also advising me that okay, we believe in creating platforms, but if you are creating the platform and you get a better offer, you can still do the both because say we live in Kenya. People are doing something else and people are doing, because let me just say, Dr. Kingori started while he was in City NTV and still at YouTube. And we have a lot of people so who are doing the same thing. So if I'm in that position, because we have radio presenters who are on radio,
and
they have their YouTube channel.
And so, the cake is so big.
Yeah. So I believe I'm versatile, and if there's opportunity for Ademba Allans, thank you. I'll be there to grab it. So I'm grateful and thank you, Kenya, and I hope that I'll get the support.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I wanna encourage you to grow your platform. I wanna encourage you to know you're enough. I want to encourage you to go hard on that YouTube channel, have your conversation on Spotify as well. I want you to know that it works and it's a beautiful space to be in. Yes. So just go hard on it and you will see the fruits, you know. Maybe just gradually you will see the fruits. And I'm wishing you well, and as I've said, we are here for whatever.
Thank you, Lynn. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Sawa.
Yeah,
shall we wind up?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Do you want to give a parting shot? Feel
free. Kenyans, we are nearing the next general election.
Yeah.
that is 2027. And you already see the problems that we faced in the current government that we elected, that you elected, that I elected. It's up to us to make the change that we want to see. Because we are the government is a reflection of who we are, as Lina said.
Yes.
So if we want a better reflection, we have to be the people that make sure that there's a better reflection. So if you are going to elect these leaders, let us choose the leaders in the merit of their manifestos, in the merit of what you believe that they can do, in the merit of their past or their previous work. Don't be persuaded with money, because I will give you 100 shillings today, then I disappear for the next 5 years. How beneficial will I have been to you?
Yeah.
So if you are going to change the government, just make sure that you change the government based on those facts and other facts, and don't be persuaded. Don't be persuaded with anything else. Be persuaded with the ideologies, the agendas, the manifestos, and be persuaded by what happened last year during the Gen Z demonstration and what has been happening since 2022 elections.
Okay. I'm happy to have had you on this platform, and thank you for trusting me with this conversation. Honestly, when I saw your message, I was like, is this Alan? Like, for real, for real? So I really do appreciate that you deemed me worth of this conversation. And go you, shine your way. And I hope your platform becomes as big, and I hope it is as impactful as it can be. You are heading towards the right direction, and I know God's hand is upon you. We've lost so many people. I understand when people say they are fearful of your life, but I also understand that God is using you for something, and he will not let go of you until that purpose is clear. So go you and shine. Sawa sawa.
Thank you.
Right, guys, what a beautiful conversation with this incredible gentleman, and I hope we've learned something. And the best way sometimes to learn is through the eyes of the people who have been there. We are sitting here with someone who has actively participated in these spaces, someone who witnessed firsthand what happened to a lot of young people, someone who knows some of the people that lost their lives, someone who has witnessed his friends being abducted. I don't think you can hear this story better from another person. So when he says we need to be careful of the choices that we are making matters governance, 2027 is not far. And I've realized Kenyans, we don't read the manifestos. We are attracted to the 500 bobs, the 1,000 bob. And I don't blame you for taking that, because sometimes that's the only thing you know. You need the food right there and then. But at what cost? At what cost? At the cost of having MPs stand in parliament and say we sympathize. People are killed all the time. We sympathize and move on. Do not forget their faces, because 2027 will determine, actually, that whole stage depends entirely on the decision that you are going to make. And as we wind up, remember to check Alan's YouTube channel. I want us to do what we do here on the platform. I'll be happy to go and refresh his page and see we are at 10,000 subscribers. So my people at LNN, you know how we do it. Go and subscribe to his YouTube channel, because I don't want him to think it's not enough. And I want to encourage him to put up all the conversations that he can put up on that particular channel. So do me a solid one. Go to his channel. It's showing on your screen right now. Just subscribe, turn the notification button on, so that when he puts great episodes, you will be notified. And go and comment, so that, you know what, algorithms can do what they do, and we can be able to see beautiful conversations from him. There is also an M-Pesa number. He has not asked me to say this, but because I know majority of you even on X were okay just treating him to something. So if you feel the need to, again, he's not asked for me to do it. Just check the number on your screen right now. Connect with him also on X and also on TikTok. We are going to put all the details on your screen right now, but get him to that 10,000 subscribers. Always remember, when we lose our fear, they lose their power. And I get it, there is a cost, there are so many things that can happen in between, but they are counting on that. They are counting on us being scared, they are counting on us being fearful, and they are counting on us forgetting what happened last year. And that's why as we wind up on this whole BBC documentary, and I'm happy I get to wind it up with Alan, this conversation, we've been having it on our platform, but that's what they are banking on, that people stop making these documentaries, forget and move on, you know. Don't let yourself forget, because if you forget, 2027 will not be any better. So thank you for tuning in. Share your take home on the comment section. Really interested in your feedback on the same, so don't be shy, put that comment on the comment section. And also, I forgot as I was doing my intro to invite all our new subscribers. I see we have almost 11,000 new subscribers here from our Traore video with DJ Bwakali. So in case you are catching this even outside Kenya, karibu sana to LNN. I'm gonna catch you guys tomorrow 10 a.m. or 7 p.m. and I appreciate the love that you have shown this platform. And I hope at the end of the day, we will be remembered for something. So I appreciate you. Have an amazing, amazing week. And I'm going to see you, as I said, 10 a.m. or 7 p.m. Bye-bye.